Hello, hello, hello once again to another episode of The Hard Rock Show. I'm Andrew.
Tim.
I'm Dave.
Here we are again. Apologies for being a bit later than usual tonight. We have some technical difficulties on my end because I'm setting up some new gear. In case you can't tell, I'm using a different camera and a different microphone. Picked up some gear today to road test it and then had the typical teething problems that everyone sort of runs into, but we're all good to go now. So thank you, everyone, for jumping in. Make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments as we go along. Always good to have everyone joining us tonight, just like we have here with Dean saying, hey, lads, hope everyone had a rocking weekend. So I think we have had, so far, it's been very, very good. But thank you, everyone, for joining us. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, all the usual things. Our details to follow us are in the description of this or the post, wherever you're tuning in from. Same thing with our fantastic sponsors too. So Squidding, Screen Printing, Alt Cult, and Rockstar Finance. Big thank you to them. Find them and give them a follow. Tonight, we're going to go through the latest from Dee Snider, Seether, and Aussie band Innasanatorium. We're going to have a hot topic on Gibson starting up a record label in a few minutes. But before we get stuck into the usual preamble and all that sort of stuff, how are you going out there, Tim? How's your weekend been? How have you been since you last were here with us?
Yeah, pretty good, actually. Just, listening to new music and working and all that jazz and, ready for the weather to start warming up, to be perfectly honest, and then start complaining about the warmer weather. Yeah. I did get sucked into the Olympics, though. Finally.
Okay.
So they finally got me.
Wow.
And I've been watching fucking diving and shit that I've got no idea about.
Rightio. So, any hot tips or hot takes in the Olympics?
Well, actually, no. My primary, I do like watching football, and women's Matilda's side's pretty damn good, and playing semi-final soon, so that's cool.
Oh, cool. Heard that a cracker of a match the other night.
They did against Great Britain.
Because my sister and I used to help out with a girls' soccer team, so we both sort of keep half an eye on it, and yeah, my sister shared about it too, so she was.
Yeah.
So one of the great wins. So
yeah.
Cool. Well, how about you, Dave? You sucked into the Olympics yet or not?
No, vaguely aware it's on. That's about it. I couldn't give a shit. Not interested at all.
Outside of that, how you going?
Yeah, pretty good. Had a barbecue yesterday and enjoying the weekend with the family. Haven't gone anywhere. Not really much to do these days.
Yeah.
But I am staying up way too late and getting up way too early. Staying up drinking and watching horror movies. It's good. Life is good.
Yeah. Well, the other night you and Nikki were on a tear in our chat. Just I don't know what was going on there. I woke up the next thing on. Wow.
Yeah, Nick jumped on too and let us know about Mike Howell from Metal Church.
Yeah, that's a bit of a
cool step. Yeah. Apart from that, not much. It's all good.
Yep. Cool. No, more of the same from us here. I haven't really watched the Olympics. I sort of kept an eye on it via social media, but haven't had time to sit down and watch anything as such. We'll probably do a hot topic on, bands we think should close the opening ceremony next session. I think that'll be a bit of a fun one then. But generally speaking, just been good. Went out and picked up the gear, like I said, today to try out tonight. Didn't want to get it delivered because when you're leaving semi-expensive stuff on your doorstep, you always tend to stress a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to do that. I know we've got two massive dogs and everyone's going to keep away from the property, but yeah, and it's a quiet little area that I'm in, but don't want to take that risk if you don't have to. But yeah, apart from that, everything's good. Just been doing the same old, same old. It was cool to see the feedback, especially for our other Tim Caterson, who jumped in for the Metal Church special that aired last night. And so it was good to see the positive feedback for him. So he did really well. Did you watch it, Dave, or?
No.
No. Okay. Yeah. Well, see, this is the funny thing is none of us watch it after we film it because I edit it, so I don't sit there and watch it after it's edited and try and get to sleep at that point in time. But for those curious,
how progressively drunk I get over the course of the taping.
When you see the full taping, which I'm editing at the moment, you will see how progressively drunk you got, especially after like the intermission point. It just there's a downhill slope for you. But no, Tim did very, very well. So congratulations on your full-blown review debut and all that sort of stuff. He did a good job last night. And yeah, like I said, I'm trying to get the full episode of that done as soon as I can. I have got more of it edited, just haven't got it all released yet. Obviously, it's a bit of a process with everything going on at the moment too. But no, everything's good. And here we go. Speaking of Tim, he's jumped in. Say hi, guys. Thanks for the chance to be involved. And hopefully we'll get more of you in the future as well. I've got plans for all that sort of stuff for a lot of our Patreon supporters. So if you want to get involved, check out our Patreon page. It's going to go through a revamp this coming week. So keep an eye on that. Dean's jumped in with a comment here saying, I think it's great to see Gibson starting a label. Surprised it wasn't a label sooner. Marshall has a label as well. Slash is the first on the new label. Be interesting what follows and more artists on the label, what they can offer. So that is basically the preamble personified to our hot topic, which we'll roll into now. In the comments and in the description, there's a link to an article if you want to read it. That's going through now to all of our platforms. And just for the record, we are on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter via Periscope, Twitch, and Instagram as well. So give us your thoughts, comments, give it a share, a like, all that sort of stuff as well. But our hot topic for tonight is all to do with Gibson starting a record label. And as has been mentioned, the debut album from them will be Slash with Miles and the Conspirators. Early next year will be the debut album. But this is one that actually our Tim here brought to our attention tonight. So what do you make of it all?
There is so much that could be made of this. Because if you don't know, Gibson filed for bankruptcy about 3 years ago, right?
Yeah, not long ago.
And not because guitars aren't selling. Fender are making record profits, but because Gibson, over the past 20 years, have made some spectacularly horrendous business decisions, including, buying up brands that have no name value whatsoever for spectacularly inflated prices. They also did buy, which I mean, they bought Mesa Boogie at the start of the year, which would have been a great purchase 20 years ago. Now,
they've gone very quiet. Yeah.
Now I wonder, depending on the price, obviously, if they got another knockoff price, then awesome. If they paid the price that they would have paid 20 years ago, then this label is not long for this world.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is that the Slash album will do well. That's not an issue, right?
Yeah.
But the thing here from Gibson is we'll work with Gibson artists to produce, record, and promote their music to fans around the world. But if you go to the Gibson page, there is no artist roster.
No, it's only
right.
Yeah.
Right. Now they do have signature models. Like the latest one is the Noel Gallagher acoustic. But I'm fairly certain Noel Gallagher has a record label.
Yeah.
And most of their artists will have record labels. So I think this might be one of those things where they found out Slash was looking for a record label and then created a record label to sign Slash.
Yeah.
So if that works, cool. If that doesn't work, then it would just be Gibson doing what Gibson does. Yeah, which is scoring a lot of own goals, despite having a great guitar model that sometimes they make really well and sometimes they do not.
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, that's my thought. This could go anywhere.
Yeah.
This is Richo from 25 out directly in front.
That's a very good way to put it. The funniest thing is too that this is actually being released in partnership with BMG, so you're wondering what that's all about as well.
That might be
that'd be distribution for the album, obviously. But
yeah.
So I don't know. Dave, you got any thoughts from just us here chatting about it?
I saw the article come up on Facebook during the week, and I didn't bother clicking on it. I just read that they were going to sign Slash and that his new album would be out early next year. And I thought it was coming late this year, so I'm just like, God damn it.
Yeah.
But, so it gives us something to look forward to next year with Wednesday 13's new album. But I wasn't all that motivated or excited to hear about it, to be honest, because realistically, who needs record labels these days? And, like Tim, I heard that a few years ago, Gibson were very close to bankruptcy. So it's a bizarre endeavor that might have been better 20 years ago. But then on the other hand, it's more of a niche for them now to be trying something new. So as Tim just said, it could go either way. It'll be interesting to see what happens. But it'd be exclusively Gibson players and endorsees, as we can expect. So you get some good artists because a Gibson for a Marshall was always a good sound.
Yeah.
But once again, it's a bit of a niche if you're just catering to those artists. So it'd be interesting to see what happens with it. But I wasn't like doing backflips when I heard about it. Just like, okay, damn, new Slash album next year instead of this year. Okay.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Do you think, guys, that because it'll be one of those ones where, at least in the beginning, they're going to be doing the whole thing where if you're not, a Gibson endorsee, you're not going to be signed to this label. It's going to be. Do you think that'll be an issue or a wrinkle in this?
But that's what I'm wondering. Is like, what is a Gibson endorsee? What does that look like? Because again, if you go on their website, there is no like artist roster or anything.
Yeah.
Like if I go on ESP LTD, they're gonna have James Hetfield plastered fucking everywhere, right?
Yeah, exactly.
If you go on Gibson, they don't have that. They do have artist models, but I mean that includes like the Jimi Hendrix Flying V.
Yeah.
You know, so
or Angus Young SD or Tony Iommi Signature Edition.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like they don't. They have signature models, but and they're obviously getting paid for that. But I don't know if unless you have the signature model, what does like a Gibson endorsee look like? I mean, because like there's one of the guys from Mastodon has a signature Gibson model. Yeah, but like doesn't mean like you know what I mean. Like so, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like when they say that, you know, Gibson artists, like I think that could mean anything.
True. I don't know. Did you have anything else you wanted to say there, Dave, or was that where you're at with it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder at this point in time with the big announcement being Slash, I wonder who needs who more, and I don't think it's Slash needs this label.
That's what I'm thinking.
So for me, it's an interesting one because with Gibson's ham-fisted approach to business, and they've done a lot of diversification. This isn't the first new thing they've done since they basically re-emerged a couple of years ago under new management. They've done a lot of diversification with apps and TV and whatever else and all sorts of stuff too. So I'm wondering, this is a play, obviously, but I don't know how viable it is, especially moving into being a record label in the day and age where we all know that sales are declining due to streaming. And so, Slash's bargaining power is going to be much, much bigger than that of Gibson when it comes to the rights and the royalties of the streams and that. But even then, where does this, because most record labels as a business, they focus maybe on a genre, but they're always going to have a few outsiders as well. But you're not going to get, for example, you're not going to go and sign a Lady Gaga to Gibson Records unless they change the model where, is this going to be a separate entity entirely? In which case, how long is the partnership with BMG going to work for? So there's a whole lot of questions with this that I don't see an easy answer to. And because there's little to no faith in their management style, it's going to take a fair bit of time for that to be rebuilt, the trust in it. Then I'm not convinced that bands are going to be falling all over themselves to go and sign to this record label. And which means, are they going to look at younger ones? And if that's the case, it might be okay for them, but how much budget can they realistically put into it if they are a company coming out of being basically in receivership 2 years ago?
The only one I can really think of as far as a younger one would be like the name that comes to mind is Taylor Swift.
Possible.
Because again, I think she's from Nashville as well.
If they could get her,
and I mean that could be a coup, but it's the same deal with Slash. Is that I don't think she's looking for a label, particularly a startup label.
And considering her history with labels too, and how on the front foot she is when she comes to her rights to her music and that, and how she's taken the battle to her previous label, then it'd be.
I don't know if that's. But I mean, as far as like a contemporary, like major selling artist, I mean, and again, like I don't know who. Yeah, I don't know who. This is. I think this is more of a case of Slash was looking for a label and Gibson said, "Oh yeah, we're starting a label," and then started the label.
It does feel a little bit like that.
Apparently, Gibson bought Philips too, like the electronics company.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Who's bankrolling all of that?
Well, this was pre-bankruptcy.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No wonder.
And then there was the robotic tuners that meant nobody bought new Gibsons that year.
Well, there's an interesting little note here too that more recently employees caused an uproar when they were forced to work at the beginning of the coronavirus pandemic. So there's a
there you go.
Yeah. So that's not that long ago in terms of history. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with it all.
Yeah.
So the PR still needs work, clearly. I think, yeah, anyway, but yeah, for this day and age where our labels as required as they once were, and frankly, they're not, this is going to be an interesting one to watch play out. I think the direct question here from Dean was, do we see it lasting? I'm probably in more of the no camp than the yes camp going by past history. Although if it does work, it'll be interesting.
Oh, if it works, it'll be benefit for everyone.
Exactly. Dean,
it's amazing, though.
Yeah, go on.
It's amazing that Fender are doing like record profits, and their whole business model is, however much money you want to spend on a guitar, we've got a guitar.
Yeah, exactly. And all
of a sudden, who'd have thought that people like buying guitars from a guitar company?
It'd be interesting. Dean said, do you think we can see any emerging young bands signing to them if this label works, or just the big statement bands? I don't know yet. I don't think they'll be splashing a budget for younger bands to build them.
If it works, absolutely. But that's the question. It needs to work.
Yeah. It will be interesting to see what happens in that regard. Darren's jumped in, though. Hello to Darren. He's gone, the label is only one component. If they have good distribution, that is the most important thing. Partnering with BMG is a positive. Yes, it is. Completely agree. But I do question in terms of partnering with BMG is only going to do so much when people aren't buying as many physical copies as opposed to streaming services. And that's where splitting those dollars is going to become pretty important to how it all works out. And are they going to use the overall company to help float this thing for a while, or are they going to try and run it as a standalone, almost a subsidiary kind of thing? So there's a lot there, a lot to unpack in it all. Don't know. Quickly, Aaron Coverdale has gone listening to Susie and the Banshees. Got the rest of the back catalogue on its way from various parts of the world, and Ambush from Sweden. Thanks for joining us, and hopefully you're enjoying the music there. Let us know what everyone else is listening to out there as we go along. And here's Jimmy going, wait, what? Gibson starting a label. It's an interesting one, Jimmy. So have a look. There's an article in the description and in the comments above. So have a look. Let us know what you think. Shall we do a review?
Yeah. So Gibson paid $135 million for Philips.
Wow.
And $53 million for TIAC.
What?
Yeah, in 2013. When was the last time you saw a TIAC stereo?
Yeah, not for a long time. Fucking hell. That's nuts.
This is why they went bankrupt.
That's clearly why. I mean, I know they've got a different CEO and stuff now, but yeah, we'll see what happens with it all. I don't know. Anyway, let's move on to our first band for the night. Check out the description, the post, or the comments now. The band is Innasanatorium, which is Innasanatorium, so it's all one word. Innasanatorium. The song is Night Terrors. That's your reference track for this one. We'll be getting to that review in just a moment. Just quickly, Mary's jumped in with listening to my Virgin Records vinyl. Awesome. Cool. Everyone else can let us know what you're listening to as we go along as well. Cool. Thanks for sharing. And thanks for joining us as well, for that matter. But anyway, this is Innasanatorium with Odyssey of the Mind. 12 tracks, 54 minutes. The debut album from the West Australian band, released July 2021 independently. Produced by Ryan Pierce at Savage Studios. Quite a few singles have been released from this, including Night Terrors and Show Me Your Scars. There is also a cover of Freak by Silverchair on this one, and Black Ruse were the company that sent this one to us and made us aware of it. So let's go. Dave, how did you balance out with this one?
Yeah, never heard this band and didn't know what to expect. Put it on and got my attention right from the very start. And it just kept getting better and better as it went along. This band tends to draw influences from all over the place. You got thrash metal, death metal, melodic metal, progressive metal, elements of that new stuff that I'm not really aware about with the clean and hard vocals put together. But it all works really well. I've heard a lot of cross-genre music before, and I've never heard such a big blending pot and everything working together really well, as much as it's. The vocals are great. There's styles ranging from like clean singing to the high note stuff, the classic metal, and then the growls and the gang vocals and the dual vocals and the death metal vocals. Like, holy shit. There has to be at least 2 pretty dedicated singers in this band. I'm thinking from the gang vocals, I think all of them might take some parts.
I think they're managed to jump in on bits and pieces here and there, man. So it's a bit of an interesting one. Yeah.
Okay, cool. It'd be a lot of fun live, I think, especially the gang vocals. Composition is really well. There's a lot of influences that they got to work with, and it gives them a very large scope in the songwriting. You can have one style and then it just switches to this other. It's just, that was seamless, and it's beautiful to listen to. There's an absolutely brutal moment, and then there's like this, the album opens with this classical kind of piano piece, and it bookends it with closing it with that similar thing. So I thought that was very cool album craft right there. Cover the old Silverchair song, Freak. It's one of the very few Silverchair songs I actually don't mind, and this is a pretty cool cover, so thanks for that. Whatever your preferred genre of metal is, you know, you're bound to find something that you like in this. But if you like just metal in general, you're going to fucking love this. I gave 8.5 out of 10. Stands for Show Me Your Scars, Night Terrors, and The Desire.
Cool. And you have an 8, did you say?
8.5.
Okay. Cool. Alrighty. Tim, what about you?
Yeah, very cool album. When I first saw the name, I was thinking like, this is like some obscure like Swedish death metal band or something.
To
be fair, like, a lot of the guitar riffs, I was thinking reminded me of Soilwork. A lot of the way the guitar work, but it's more than that. Like as Dave said, they're really drawing a lot from everywhere and putting it in this melting pot. And they've really come up with their own unique sound. Like the guitar work is fantastic, the drums are great, but the standout is the vocals. I mean, it's kind of like there's not much that these guys aren't doing, but the key to it is they're doing the right things at the right time for the right moments in the songs to kind of build the songs and give you a payoff at the end and build tension and all that wonderful things that we like. Some catchy moments as well. Lyrics are great. Performances are great. Everything sounds fantastic. Really well-written songs. That's uniquely done as well. So, like, there's not much to not like about this. If you're a heavier guy, if you don't mind, even if you aren't like a screaming vocal guy, I mean, they're clear enough and pitched enough that you might you're probably worth giving them a go. You'll get some enjoyment out of them. So 8.5 out of 10 as well. Show Me Your Scars and Scotty from Marketing, because I thought that title was hilarious.
That was
cool. The catchy chorus too. So that's 8.5.
Cool. What I like about this one is how it opened and closed with the sort of piano and string section. Those little instrumental bookends were cool on this one. You guys have covered it off with all the different, styles of metal, the pit vocals with a bit of a scream to them. This is a metal ride from start to finish kind of thing, and it's nice and chunky. I find it really nicely riff-driven. I liked the lead work in the guitar. Like the lead guitar work was really cool in this and brought a lot of melody to this, probably a lot more than you expect, to be honest, and helped the vocals to sort of have that melody, so it wasn't just the pitch screaming. It lifted the whole aspect of that up to make it more melodic overall. I think if you're a fan of bands like that we've covered on the show, Orpheus Omega, Triple Kill, Trigger, that sort of stuff, any of those bands, this is another band that fits into that mold and would go on tour with them and fit right in. But I thought the use of groove was good on this. I thought there's some deep subject matter in the lyrics, which, obviously Scotty from Marketing, but there's a bit more to it than that as well. There's some very introspective stuff, some very observational stuff. So they go into a few different areas, and they do it all very well with a bit of a dark twist to it all, which is very, very nice. I think the rhythm section are the anchor to it all nicely on this one, but I like how that gives a platform for the vocals and lead guitar, like I was saying before, to get out of it. But also, I liked how they use a bit of Foley on this one as well. There's a bit of rain sort of effects going on and other things in this one for impact. There were moments in the songs where they sort of the chords and the vocals sort of settled into this space or just settled on a note and just sort of let things ring out there for a bit, which is a really nice touch and different way of taking this one in. It didn't make this sort of fall into the traps of being, verse, poppy chorus. They avoided all the pitfalls of this genre normally by just using space in the right way and time, which was nice. Album flow was good, nice drama across the record. Like I was saying, a bit of darkness about this one. I liked the attack on this one. And the production is a bit gritty, a bit rough around the edges, which works well for these guys. You wouldn't want this to be over-polished. This doesn't need to have the gloss put all over it. You want that bit of dirt in there, and they've done a really nice job of it, especially in the guitar tone. I liked how on the rhythm section there was a lot of grit, but then the clean guitar tones were just beautiful on this one too. Those leads over the top were great. Got to give a special nod to the Scotty from Marketing song, perfect for the times. It has a bit of Rautism. If you like the Rautism EP we talked about a little while ago, that'd be another band they could play with as well about it. I think that the only weak spot on this one was Accelerated Oblivion. It just felt like a bit of a, we've done this before on this record kind of a thing. That was the only track and that was toward the end of the album. It's like, yeah, that was one you probably could have, didn't need to be there, but it's not a bad one. I think it just, didn't quite need to be there, just sort of dragged it down a touch for mine. But overall, it's a very good record. The cover at the end is a lot of fun. I know we shared it in the lounge and it got a bit of an interesting bit of feedback in the context of this record, because that comes after that closing instrumental piece. That was a really nice way to wrap it up, and I thought it's a bit of fun, and you can tell it to go off live. I reckon it'd be a lot of fun to watch that band play that song live. It'd be heaps of fun. So that fun came through on this. I enjoyed this record a fair bit. I gave it an 8 out of 10. Show Me a Scar seems to be a universal favorite for us here tonight, which is a good one there. Night Terrors and also Scotty from Marketing, got to give a nod to that one as well for this one. So that was a very, very cool those guys. So hopefully we'll get to see much more from them in the future. So well done. What else? Sally's jumped up to say she's listening to Carly Jewel. Awesome, because there's lots of videos on there to go and check out. And Mary also, she's listening to the Virgin. Sorry?
I was going to say, I think Carly's just been sending out the new single,
"Dancing with the Devil." Yeah. That with Rue Morgan, that it's been getting it's just been launched in its hard copy form, so that's been really cool as well. And Mary's jumped in to say she's also listening to Nevermind the Bollocks celebration of 40 years. If you like the Sex Pistols, there's a special box set coming out in a little while. I think next month or the month after. I'll be able to tell you actually. Release calendar, there it is. September 24. Sex Pistols 6 to 77, which is all rough cuts and all sorts of things like that. So if you're a fan of the Sex Pistols, that is one for you to go and check out coming out in September. Right up my alley. Yeah, I think you will enjoy that one. Dave, you probably not so much. So we'll see what happens in that regard. All right. In the comments and in the description or the post, wherever you're tuning in from, I'm putting another link in now. This one is, what do we got? This is Seether, and the song is Wasteland. We'll give a bit of an explanation for this one in just a second. Mary also said Steve Jones' book is great as well. We should do a thing on books at some point. Dave, you and I have spoken about it before. We need to do some books at some stage when we get a chance to read them and discuss them at the same time. That's always the fun part. Yeah. But anyway, the reference track is Wasteland by Seether, because that's the next release. So this is Seether with Wasteland, the Purgatory EP. 5 tracks, 21 minutes. The 6th EP from the South African band via Fantasy Records. Produced and written by frontman Sean Morgan. Engineered by guitarist Corey. This is a way of presenting the band's latest single, which is Wasteland, which actually comes from the 2020 album Civi Pacem Parabellum. And it features that track, an alternate version of it, and 3 new tracks in this little mix as well. So, Dave, how'd you go?
Yeah, this is one of those bands I never paid all that much attention to. They came along in that weird time in music in the early 2000s, and they're kind of somewhere in between post-grunge and new metal. And neither of those really appealed to me, especially back then. Some of it's grown on me over time, but yeah, so I'd never heard a single thing from this band. And this actually got me right from the start. Songs are pretty well engaging and good, really well written. The lyrics really stand out on this. It's like listening to stories unfold, like reading a really good book. It's like kind of, yeah, it just draws you in and you want to know what the outcome is. Very good dynamics. The album opener, Wasteland, the main single, and starts off with a really almost understated, clean tones to drumming, and then it comes in with the distorted tone, so it's very draws you in and builds upon it. There's nothing here really, really fast. It's really moderate playing with chords left to ring, but it's quite hypnotic, and you'll be nodding your head along as you're listening. The energy does go up in the choruses, which is also cool dynamics. As far as melodic lines and solos go, it's straight out of that late 90s single note, bendy, drony type thing, which actually works really cool in this case. They're not the type of band where you're going to get flashy solos, but in this case, it wouldn't suit the music at all. So I didn't really miss the way I usually like in this, but yeah, it's really out of my little box of what I like in music, but I enjoyed it. Got a bit of an Alice in Chains vibe in places, which in my opinion is everything that's good about grunge. So I could get into this quite easily. I don't know if their style has changed at all in their 20-year career, but I enjoyed this. I don't think I'll go back and listen to much else, but yeah, I did enjoy this. I guess 8 out of 10 bands were Wasteland, Feast or Famine, and the alternative version of Wasteland. I thought that was pretty cool.
All right, cool. How about you, Tim?
Yeah, so we did the album last year.
We did.
And I love that album. If you haven't heard it, you should go back and listen to it.
It's a good one.
Yeah, and it is actually quite similar to Songcraft is quite similar to this. And I wonder if the 3 new tracks on here are leftovers from that kind of writing session.
It does fit right next to it.
They do. Yeah, they do have that. It's the vibe of the thing that's quite similar. But I think these songs are really well written. As Dave said, they do have that kind of understated, clean tone going into that big chorus kind of style to them. It's nothing we haven't heard before, but it's just done really, really well with great lyrics. I think one of the thing with this band is they sound good. They have a very pleasant guitar sounds, very pleasant drum sounds, and very pleasant vocal sounds. So they're very easy to listen to. And when you do have a nice groove and nice lyrics and right note choices, these records just fly by. Especially when you add some dynamics in there and things like that. So like as a band, like Seether worked very well, and this EP is a continuation of that. And if you're gonna do a song off that EP, off that album, that have the acoustic guitar and the piano backing track, Wasteland's a good choice.
Yep.
So this is a successful EP as far as things are concerned. So for me, my highlights were the alternative version of Wasteland and Will It Ever End? And 8 out of 10 as well. It's a good EP. If you like the band, check it out. Yep. If you like the EP and you have check out the last album.
I'm trying to remember what my score was of the album last year, but regardless of what I thought of it then, I went back and listened to it before listening to this new EP, and it's one of those ones where you listen to it a year later and, okay, the songs have stayed with you. It's very memorable. It's very well written. All those things are there. And you sit there and go, okay, actually, this is pretty bloody cool. So regardless of what my score was last year, I enjoyed listening to it again. And these songs fit right in on the back of that, which is cool. These ones are like those, it's like the perfect accompaniment kind of thing. So it's like when you get a little, I don't know, what do you want to call it? It's like a DLC bit of content for, an expansion pack for a game or an extra chapter in your book or whatever else have you that you want to talk about. That's what this one feels like when it comes to that album. This really does fit right in amongst it. So yeah, I get the feeling it would have been written at the same time for whatever reason they didn't make the cut. But that said, that's not actually a bad idea for bands overall to start pursuing this as an idea. Any holdover songs, release them as an EP with like a lead single and an acoustic version of it, basically. And there's, your 5-track EP to keep your fan base engaged. So it's a very smart, very clever product. And around that, the songs are good, the performances are good. As has been said, the tones are great, the mixing is fantastic.
It saves you from having an album that's too long to listen to.
Exactly. Definitely. I think in this context, it's a very, very good idea. I think, the lyrical aspect of this band shouldn't be underestimated. They do a very good job. The poetry side of them is great. And I think that Sean's voice is one of those voices that works well with the electric instrument or the acoustic instrument just as well either way. And the poetry aspect, again, if you was just standing up there in your coffee thing doing those, weird open mic poetry nights, you'd feel it fitting in there as well. It's one of those genuine artist kind of approach where, you know, the emotion is conveyed and it's all very well done. Around that sort of stuff, there's plenty of crunch in this one, though. The riffs are nice on this. If you're a fan of the band already, this is going to please you. If you're not a fan of the band, this is one you might want to check out because whilst it's not the heaviest thing overall, it's got some good crunch, it's got some good bite, some attack in there, but the melody and the vocals and the lyrics will be something that's a very good gateway for pretty much anyone to go and check out, I think. And it's a good little 5-track EP to go and do it on. I liked the alternative version of the single Wasteland because like how they changed the mix on the vocals in particular. They really did play with things a bit in that regard, and the stripping it down to being a piano and acoustic guitar kind of track was a nice way to do it as well. Look, there's really not a lot to fault about it. I think it's a great idea, a great little EP, and the only reason why I've given it a slightly lower score than you guys is because there's 2 versions of the same song on here, so you know it's not quite as good as, say, a 5 or 6 track EP that's all great new music, but this is still a very, very good release that is well worth checking out. Even if you're not a fan of the band, it might be one that, you know, makes you want to check this out. If you like this, go and check out the album. It's a good little gateway to going back for an album as well. So there we go. So I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. Feast or Famine, What Would You Do, and the Wasteland track were my standouts on this one. Mark has jumped in to say, listening to Carly Jewell's Phoenix and waiting on the post for Carly Jewell's new single Dancing with the Devil Rock on Everyone. Cool. Yes, that is a very good album. And yeah, I do know those are being sent out as we speak. All right. So we move on to the main event of the evening. And this main event is being shared in the comments or in the description or the post, whatever you want to do it as. The main event is Dee Snider tonight, so hopefully you're all a big fan because we are here, and hopefully this album stacks up. The reference track for you is Down But Never Out. I think this clip was released all of about 2 days ago, so we'll see what happens with this one. So it's Dee Snider, Leave a Scar, 12 tracks, 47 minutes, the 5th solo album from the American artist, released July 2021 by Napalm Records. Produced by Jamie Jaster, 3 singles have been released so far, including Time to Choose and Damn Never Out. This one sees Dee get involved in the writing process for the first time since the 90s, and is built to be something of an event for his frustration, feeling, anger, pain, whatever, during lockdown over the past 12 months or so. So, Tim, does it stack up to the original one we had last year?
All right. First of all, produced by Jimmy Jaster.
Sorry, Jamie Jaster. Sorry. Did I say Jimmy? Did I?
Is that the same dude I'm thinking of?
Hatebreed, yeah.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That explains the drum sound.
Yeah.
Very, let's say, low tuning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Lots of click.
Definitely.
Anyway, look, they gave us the Joey Jordison drum sound in retrospect.
Mm-hmm.
Look, this is fucking fantastic. Like Dee's great, and I'm not really a big Twisted Sister fan, to be perfectly honest. Yeah. However, I don't think you can really fault his solo albums.
Yeah,
his solo albums are fucking fantastic, and this continues on with that. This is just balls out. Heavy fucking rock and roll, and there's not much more than that. There's great riffs, is heavy drums and heavy bass, and Dee's a very good singer that sings great melodies with some great angry lyrics. There's very little downtime on here. Having said that, I thought this went the perfect length. It's not a really long listen. It comes in, it makes its statement, and gets out of the way.
Yep.
And it's a good energetic punch in the face for a good 30-something minutes, and I like this did exactly what it needed to do. And yeah, fantastic album.
Yeah.
So yeah, look, again, we've said this before, but the hard rock show, if anything in the wheelhouse of hard rock or anything that we do here interests you, then this album should make you pretty happy.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is very, very hard to fault. My highlights are All or Nothing More and Before I Go.
Yep.
And yeah, 9.5 out of 10.
Beautiful. All right, we're off to a good start. Yeah. Dave, how'd this one go for you?
Yeah, this is fucking brilliant. Based off the previous album, the 2 singles that were released leading up to this, I've been looking forward to this album for a while. It sounds very modern, but it's fitting of a man known for Twisted Sister and the whole hair metal thing. But he's not going too far away from what he knows, but everything is just on steroids and amped up to the fucking roof. And it's not like he's gone new metal and started hip hopping or something, but he does manage to make himself relevant, current, and new sounding. I think the vocals on this album are amazing. He's actually sounds stronger than when he was younger. I think he's gotten better with age. And whoever else is doing the backup vocals with that heavier growly, that really complements what he's doing, and they work really well together. There was some real bite to Dee's delivery on this, and the lyrics are pretty fucking good. Guitar solos, if that's your focus. There was some amazing shit on here, and there's definitely 2 lead guitars because one cuts in, one goes out, and some very cool stuff. Killer riff, and the whole band is on fire. When the world unfucks itself, I really hope he manages to tour over here because I would love to hear this album, the previous album live, and some Twisted Sister classics, man. But he would be an amazing show. Composition is awesome. You get hooks in the choruses, anthemic breakdowns, but once again, it's all on steroids. It's really, really hard to pick standouts on here. As Tim said, it's a really doesn't overstay its welcome, so it's just one you can put on over and over, and all the songs just bounce out here. It is awesome that Dee is putting out albums like this at this point in his age in his career, and it's awesome that he got to be on Cobra Kai season 3. I had to get that in. So I gave it 9 out of 10. I got a rock again. Down but not out. Silent battles, crying for your life, in for the kill and the reckoning are my standouts. But everything's awesome.
Yeah. So your kids like Twisted Sister, don't they, Dave?
Yeah, especially Rory. He loves I Want to Rock. Just plays.
So have you played any of Have you played any of these solo stuff to them yet?
No, I think he just likes the old stuff.
Okay. I'd be curious to see if the young one would get into this one as well, just as a curiosity's sake. Not but so if it ever happens, let us know. But I'd be curious to see. Yeah. Look, for me, the question is always, after we loved the last album a couple of years ago, is the next one gonna back it up? And the answer is a simple fuck yes. He's 66, he's fucking killing it. If you don't like Twisted Sister and you've not listened to Dee's solo albums because of that, listen to this one and the one before, For the Love of Metal. Those 2 are fucking brilliant. And this is just, the next installment of a fantastic chapter of his career. I like when the older generation throw down the gauntlet. This is another one of those albums, had a few of those this year, except there's another one that comes to mind on the metal front where the older guard have just gone, okay, here's a ripping album. Go and beat this one, kids. And this is doing the same thing. Riffs and drums just pound away on this one. Attitude right from the start. I love the punch. I love the gang vocals on this as well. Dee with his vocal tone coming in over the top. That gravel he's got in his voice is just perfect, and it goes because it sits in the top end just a little bit, not too much, but it does just enough that it allows him to thicken out the bottom end of this one really nicely. So you've got the down tune stuff being pushed up because it can complement the voice, and it just goes whack, and it's just a punch in the head, like Tim was saying, for the 45 minutes that it goes for. For all the aggression, though, you've got some really nice melodies, some really nice hooks in this one, probably more than you expect. And after the first pass, you're going to be moving along and singing back to this in no time at all. Very catchy, very well written. And this does, like I was saying, genuinely pick up where the last album left off. But there are some differences on this one too. There's some old school use of groove and tempo changes on this one, and they've opened up a bit more space in this. The last track on this one is a ballad, which is a bit different, and it is a really nice closer on this one with the song Stand. This was fantastic from top to bottom. What I like about this one is Dee got involved in the writing process, and the lyrical content on this one really does stack up on that front. Like, you feel what he's talking about, and he's so, like, we all know he's smart, and he's so good at conveying his emotion and what his thoughts and feelings are through his lyrics. He just does a really good job, and you're along for the ride all the way through. You believe it all the way through. I think the production is exactly what you want. Like I was saying before, they punched up the bottom end on this one really nicely, and but the riffs, the lyrics, and the vocals, that whole thing there is just where this one really packs its punch, and this flies by. As far as a listen goes, this takes. I listened to this one 3 times in a row, back to back just this afternoon, and it was like, okay, this is really fucking easy to take in like that. It's so easy to repeat spin. It's a really good, solid record. The only flatter spot I'm going to put down for this one was the growling vocal in Time to Choose. I thought it was just a touch over the top compared to what the rest of the album had. But at the same time, this is me being picky on things, not anything bad about it at all. It was just, just a bit less of that would have. Okay, what, Tim?
I appreciated that he went for it, though.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah. I agree with it. Yeah.
It takes balls to try that at his age, because he wouldn't have grown up with those.
No.
So yeah, for him to try that takes a little bit of balls. So I appreciate that he tried it.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with that. It was a nice little thing there. It just didn't quite come off the way I wanted it to, but again, it could come down to taste. Someone else will probably fucking love that one. It'd be a highlight song for him. So it's just a pure taste thing, not an execution thing. It was well executed. It just went a bit, I don't know, OTT for me. But like I said, on the flip side of that, there was the ballad at the end. That was a really, really nice way to close things out, and that's where the lyrics in particular shine, but it also, gives you the title of the album as part of the chorus there too, which is really a nice touch at the end of it. For me, this is a bit darker, a bit brooding, a bit aggressive, a bit angry, and makes me very, very happy to listen to things like this. So I gave it a 9 out of 10. I picked Before I Go, Silent Battles, and All or Nothing More as my standouts, but there are no dud tracks. Even the one I was picking on, that's not a dud track. It's just a taste thing for me. So this is a very, very good album. It's going to be one of those ones where it's up there for the top 10s at the end of the year. It'll be one of those ones that's so easy to repeat spin and is so catchy. It stays with you from you can hear this one now. You go through the tracks, you can hear them in your mind straight away. This is so well written, so well done. Sally has jumped up to say, same as Tim, not big into Twisted Sister, but Dee is just killing it solo. His voice is stellar. I'm loving it. That is cool. Good to see. What are we going here? Darren said, Dave, didn't you go to see Dee Snider when he was here in February 2019, play Twisted Stuff and songs from the Love of Metal? No, neither Dave nor myself went to that one, unfortunately. I was regretting it from the moment I could not make things happen for that one, but no, we didn't go to that one. But I will guarantee you that the second that's announced for another one, I'm buying tickets to that one. I'm not missing it a second time around if it happens. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Savas Musician, a new one on YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Has gone, who do you think we're winning a punch on? Paul Stanley or D? I know which one I'm going with.
D.
D.
Paul's got the flu, man.
Yeah, well, funny. D's a COVID survivor. He had COVID for a while, and he got back. He got it after he was vaxxed, though, so it all worked out for him. But yeah, no, I think that's
Disneyland or something. As you
say. He's been going off on Twitter today about Disneyland today too, which has been funny. So there's a united answer to that one for you, Savas. Tim said the guy from Cannibal Corpse is on that song. That explains the vocals. Okay, well, there you go.
Wow.
That's the Knowles reference there.
Is it really?
That must be. I haven't checked the credits, so I haven't really gone through it in as much detail as I would have liked. But yeah, I listened to the music. I didn't bother with the notes side of things, but yeah, the music is fucking great. Okay, I'll have to go and check out and dig into that one a bit more. Late to the party is Nudes. So thanks for joining us, Nudes. Good to have you here as always. Our good friend Nudes is one of our fantastic regulars here. But that's what we had time to go through tonight. Sorry for the late start yet again. Now that I've got the teething problems worked out with the technical side of things, I'll be able to make sure we start a bit more on time in the future, and I'll be able to tweak things, make it a bit better. But that's what we got. Yeah, we're there. What have we got on Thursday? Thursday we're going to be talking about, where is my playlist here? Alrighty, so Thursday we're going to be talking about the latest from Axel Rudy Pell, which is a covers album. Then there's also a bit of a greatest hits collection from Geezer Butler's solo career. And the main event is going to be going back in time to a classic album from ZZ Top in El Loco is what we're going to be covering on Thursday night. That's coming your way on Thursday. We'll try and have a hot topic on the Olympics, what bands we think we would like to play the Olympics closing ceremony. I think that'll be a hot topic for Thursday. We'll see what happens. Oh, hang on. Tim's jumped up to clarify it was George Corpse Grinder Fisher in that song. Well, there you go.
Well, there you go. That's the dude from Cannibal Corpse.
Yeah. He's been busy this year.
Amazing.
He's doing pretty well.
Imagine in the 80s that one day somebody said that the dude from Cannibal Corpse will be collaborating with the dude from Twisted Sister.
That's actually a fair point. Very fair point. But it's here we are at I don't know if it's a natural progression or if COVID's really fucked with everyone's head, but we got one and it's worked out pretty bloody well ultimately.
You know what? Because hey, look, you know, we can all like different things and we can all
yeah, that's the
enjoy
point.
different styles.
Yeah.
Metal brings people together.
Yes. Well, that's an overarching sort of concept there. Music brings people together. No, it's very, very cool. I did wonder about any more guest spots. There's a few other vocals now that I thought, or a little bit. There was a bit of a touch here and there. I thought I wanted to dig into it more, but I didn't have quite enough time to go and do the research for setting up tonight. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. I told you what we're going through on Thursday. That's what's coming up at the moment. So yeah, make sure you like, follow, subscribe, all the usual things. If you're seeing these videos or any of our content, give it a like, comment on it, give it a share if you want to. That's the best way to help us out to grow this platform that we're doing here with the online stuff. We're still on TV, so check us out there as well. Thursday nights on 10:30 p.m. Channel 44 in Adelaide, and Saturday nights 10:30 p.m. Channel 31 Melbourne and Geelong. Sorry, I just had another comment come through in a moment, which I'll get to in a second. So that's when we're on TV. And yeah, we'll be doing the streams 2-3 times a week and just keep them busy as always. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe. A big thank you to our fantastic sponsors as well in Squidding, Screen Printing, Alt, Cult, and Rockstar Finance. Find them, give them a follow. Their details, just like ours, are in the description of this or the post or wherever you're tuning into it from. If you've joined us live tonight, thank you for jumping into the comments. It's absolutely fun, and it's the best part of what we do here with these streams. But also, if you're tuning in later on, feel free to leave your comments as you go. But also, thank you for tuning in at that point in time. So well, this would be interesting. Sumaleth jumped in from YouTube to say, Paul Stanley and Dee in a duet singing which song? What song would they sing a duet on?
Probably something not off Paul Stanley's last album.
No.
That kind of swing.
Yeah, doubtful.
Funk album he did.
The first thing that came to mind was Andrew Lloyd Webber's Phantom of the Opera.
Cats? Memory?
Maybe they could do the instead of Jack Black and Meatloaf, they could do like the opening from The Pick of Destiny.
I want to see video of them trying it at least. I wouldn't know. Those two voices and styles are like, I know differences are good, but trying to find a common ground, a song that they would. I reckon they'd have to write an original. I don't know a cover would do it.
the David Bowie and
Dancing
Jagger Dancing in the Street.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I can't think off the top of my head what I'd like to hear them cover, because I don't. Yeah, I think Dee could do anything. I'm not as confident in Paul, which is the sad thing, and it's not a knock. It's just that he's just getting older and hasn't quite got what he had. But that said, his last one, his vocal performance on his last album was relatively good. So, yeah, I don't know. It'd be an interesting one to see what they could do there. It'd have to be something that's in the mid-range vocally, which would be, which is where you got to, okay, Nudes has jumped in with, We Built This City could work. You'd have to have a lot of background vocals on that one, I think. Some Starship, make it interesting. What they could do, I don't know. What's an American folk song? Whistle Dixie or something. Maybe they Whistle Dixie. I don't know. Give them Waltzing Matilda and see how they go with that.
Well,
I don't know. This is going for hours. But yeah, let's leave it there. If you've got any thoughts you'd like to put in there, then put them in the comments. Keep them coming. We'll check them out later on. But now I think it's time for the fun part of the night, and that's where we pull out our old faithful friend here. What are we putting in the bin? So, Tim, we'll go to you first with the bin tonight.
This is not really a bin. More of a comment that I find hilarious. But we'll call it a bin for the sake of it, just because it's funny. But the Tokyo anti-sex bin. If you don't know the Olympic Village has cardboard beds to stop all the athletes from banging each other.
Yeah. Yep. Which is
As
bizarre.
some sort of COVID prevention. I don't know who designed this, but there are other ways to do things. So that the card. But here's what I don't understand: does like the weightlifters get more cardboard in their beds than like 100-meter sprinters?
Marathon runners.
Well, marathon runners don't need as much cardboard to support their weight. So
Yes.
Thing
is, there's a photo kicking around online of one of the women's teams has 3 women just sitting along the damn thing, so or like a half dozen of them. So they're holding quite a few people.
Whoever thought of this idea is just classic over-engineering.
Yeah. Very true. Very, very true. All right. Anything else you wanted to add, or is that where you're leaving it?
No, that's pretty much it.
All right. Cool. Dave, what have you got?
I got 2. One serious and one fun. Got the serious one first. People who don't understand that actions have consequences. Everyone's got an opinion, and that's cool. But when your opinion transfers into actions, and actions affect someone else's well-being, you can go fuck yourself.
Yep.
And my fun one. If you're a fan of AEW wrestling, they're doing some amazingly cool stuff. Everything is great except for one little thing that irks the shit out of me. Orange Cassidy, take your fucking hands out of your pocket. A little bit of a gimmick and an image is cool, but when you're halfway through a championship match at the top of a pay-per-view and you're still doing this shit, just
wow.
There's a time to stop and a time to get into the match. Fuck. I don't even.
Hey, Dave.
Yeah.
Speaking of AEW stuff, someone did a mashup of, when Raw had Across the Nation as their opening song. Someone's gone through on Reddit and replaced all the footage of WWE wrestlers with AEW wrestlers to that.
Oh, cool.
That actually awesome. Pretty fucking good, actually. So whoever put that together, well fucking done. My bin is really, really lame. First one is shitty customer service. Now, I was buying new gear today, like I was saying, and it took forever to get served. And I wasn't, I was spending a bit today, so I was like, okay, would have been good to have some service sooner, but hey, there we go. So, but also, because of the day job, getting really, really dry skin on your hands where it splits your fingers open when you've got to do work with your hands all day, every day, that's fucking shitful. Whatever, genius in biology thought that was going to be a good thing, fuck off. In the bin. That's painful, because then whenever you try to do anything with your hands, you keep knocking it and splitting it further, and it's just, for fuck's sake, that's enough. But yeah, I'm glad I got the weekend when I did, because it allowed me to believe it or not, put the old Band-Aid on it and get it all fixed up so I can go back to work tomorrow and probably fuck it up some more. But but that's my petty, annoying, stupid little bin. Going back to the comments for a second before we do sign off for the night. Sumile said that big bin, the bed thing isn't actually true, just a rumor that started on social media that real media couldn't resist running with. Okay. I didn't know. I haven't followed it. I haven't followed it closely.
I just think it's hilarious.
Yeah, it is funny. On the talking about the media side of things too, I don't know if you guys are aware, but Sky News actually got their YouTube account blocked for 7 days and a strike against them for misinformation during the pandemic. So fuck Sky News. Cop that, you bunch of fuckwits. And then Dean Whedon, Dave, 100% with AEW. So there we go. We're getting a lot of love for AEW out there. It is going very, very well. And a final funny one from Sumaleth for the duet song, Islands in the Stream. That would be interesting. And if you haven't checked it out, check out the version from Good News Week that Ross Noble did with, forget his name, one of the guys from the WA bands. They did a weird rendition with like a ukulele and stuff. It was hilarious. So Ross Noble, Islands in the Stream, go on YouTube that. It's fucking hilarious.
Ross Noble is the man.
He is the man. While you're there, check out the rest of what he did that episode of Good News Week while you're at it, because he just owned it. But I think that's it for us tonight. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and thank you to you guys for making time again on a Sunday night. It's been an absolute blast.
Nice.
Yeah, anytime.
Cool. We'll see you all again very, very soon. Until then, I'm Andrew.
Tim.
Dave.
As always,
Drink up.
Rock on.